Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
And we have made it to championship weekend. Man, did the season go by fast. Well, we got a lot to talk about today on a Friday edition of College Sports Today. Of course, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, joins us. Shane Matthews in a few minutes. It is Friday. That means our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. We've got 7 games we'll pick, and most of those are conference championship games. We'll get to that in a moment. I want to thank our major sponsors you see on the screen, the Allen Law Firm and Future Home Loans. We are in the Future Home Loan Studios inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Coach Spurrier, by Sunday early afternoon, we'll be down to 4. I mean, the games will be played tonight. There's games, a bunch of championship games tomorrow. The committee has to come out Sunday. We'll know which 4 are playing for all the marbles.
If there's no upsets, I think we all know the 4 is not going to change much, but there could be 1 or 2 upsets. You never know. But, Terry, I really think tomorrow, conference championship Saturdays, are the biggest day of the year in college football. It really is the biggest day, including the national championship game, because all the teams, the ones that are in the championship game, preseason, practice, through the season, the back of their minds, hey, championship game, if we can win that thing, man, we've had a great year. Yes. They don't really talk about Final Four and all that kind of stuff. And this is the game that the winning coach gets the Gatorade bucket or ice bucket on him, and they carry him off the field, and they've got the conference championship. And I can assure you that was probably my favorite moment for the team. The end of the year when that conference championship, we were able to get 7 of them. And I'd tell the guys before the season, now that's the only game you carry me off, and that's the only game you hit me with a water bucket. I can take it there. And then they started hitting you in the bowl game, so that was okay also.
You never get used to that, though, do you? That Gatorade and water hitting on you?
No, I learned to put the windbreaker on.
I remember you used to do that, Coach.
Jamie Spronis would carry the windbreaker. And if we were well ahead, which we were a lot, Jamie, give me that windbreaker. Yeah. I said, all right, fellas, go ahead and hit me. I'm ready now. But, it'll catch your breath if you're not ready for it.
You mentioned the championship games, though. They also, it's special when, and the tradition in the SEC is after the game and the winning team, they get that sign, that SEC sign, and they carry that SEC sign around. And boy, that 40,000 fans for that winning team, they go crazy. And then you're handed that championship trophy that never goes away. You know, you've got that forever.
Yeah, championships are for a lifetime. Yeah. You go in the record books, and I got a record book in the media guide, all the champions, I think, from 1933 on. So we don't have as many as Alabama and some of the other schools, but we got a few. And hopefully in the future, hopefully Billy Napier, the more I read about him, to tell you the truth, don't know Billy that well at all. But he seems to be a very sharp coach, and I think we got some good times ahead for us.
A good segue, Coach, into the latest news. Obviously, the Billy Napier stuff was last week among some other hires and fires in college football. The latest news, Notre Dame made it officially official today. Marcus Freeman now is officially the head coach at Notre Dame, the first-year defensive coordinator that came over from Cincinnati. And, Coach, I want to spend a moment on this. We'll go to break, come back, get Shane Matthews on, and we'll get to our picks. But it's interesting the way that whole thing played out, and you're probably aware of this. Some of our viewers might not be. During the offseason, this past offseason, Notre Dame hired away Marcus Freeman, the hotshot defensive coordinator. He was at Cincinnati, goes to Notre Dame. It was understood when he got hired that he was the coach in waiting at Notre Dame. It was pretty much understood. And then kind of snooping around a little bit, you talk to some people that are near the Notre Dame program, it appears that the powers that be, they couldn't and didn't really want to push Brian Kelly out, but they were ready to get this hotshot young guy as the head coach. You couldn't fire Brian Kelly. He wins too many games, right? So LSU swooping in and grabbing Kelly, that was a solid for Notre Dame. Notre Dame was real. They can't say that, but it didn't hurt Notre Dame's feelings that LSU got Brian Kelly. They didn't have to fire him. They couldn't fire him. He wins too many games. But they've got their young, aggressive, supposed to be a star in the making, Marcus Freeman, now in their head coaching position. So that's kind of how that thing played out.
Well, obviously, time will tell.
Yeah.
But that's a good scenario that may exactly happen. And whether or not Brian Kelly can win national championships, as everybody likes to talk about, time will tell. But LSU will have ball players. We all know
they
that.
will.
If he can recruit, just like almost all the other coaches down there have recruited, he'll have a team capable.
Sure.
But you know, there's Jimbo Fisher. He makes $9 million also.
Yeah.
Pretty soon he's going to win a division. Maybe. I don't know.
I see what you did there, Coach. I see what you did there.
Yeah, Jimbo, it's interesting, the perception of some coaches. He's the greatest coach in the world. And then Kevin Sumlin was there, and I think they had the same record their first 4 years. Same record, somebody said. And Kevin was a dummy. And perception is reality, I guess.
Yeah.
But everybody can't win. Just remember that. And on that Western Division side, there's only going to be one champ every year, and it's usually Alabama. And until Saban leaves, I don't know who else is going to win it.
Yeah, definitely. But boy, LSU, I think they're all the stuff, the negativity around the athletic program, not just football, the athletic program is a lot of negativity. That Title IX stuff is serious federal stuff. That Title IX that's going on, the investigation at LSU. I think all that really has hurt them in this search. And they really pulled Kelly. I mean, Brian Kelly, they pulled him out in the last minute, I think. And they pulled him out by throwing just a gob of money at him. Coach, the numbers are just astronomical now in the college game.
Well, they figure if A&M can pay somebody $9.5, we can also. So he got one of those deals. And, of course, Lincoln Riley reports he may even got 10 or whatever. And they say the money is not the reason, but let's be honest, it's a big reason.
It's a big reason. It really is. So there are 2 or 3 other openings still in college football around, but the one big one now, since Notre Dame was officially filled today, they had a press release and it came out. The one big one's Oklahoma. The one big one is Oklahoma, and it's interesting. You hear Brent Venables, even though he's never been a head guy, he's been such an integral part in that Clemson build and has some Oklahoma ties. But that's a plum job, though, right? They're coming into the SEC. Money won't be a factor.
Yeah, if Brent wants to be a head coach, obviously that is as good a job as there is in America, Oklahoma. Now, when they join the SEC, it might not be quite as good a job to win championships as it is now, but certainly Oklahoma is one of the best in the country.
And backtracking real quick before we go to break, going back to LSU, always something going on at LSU. So they get Brian Kelly, and it's interesting looking way ahead, Coach. LSU opens up with FSU next year.
Is that right?
FSU and LSU play one of those first season games in New Orleans.
Okay.
It's sponsored by somebody. It's one of those games, but it's in New Orleans. But yes, FSU, LSU just got a lot more interesting with Brian Kelly moving over as the LSU head coach. His first game will be against FSU, and there's Mike Norvell. That'll be year 3, trying to get off to a good start. FSU's biggest problem is they always play a pretty good opponent game 1 and get beat.
Yeah, playing a tough opponent that first game, I don't know if it helps or hurts you. I think it sort of hurts you a little bit because everybody wants to get off 1-0 and so forth. But if you play in a tough conference like the SEC, it's hard to schedule one of those big teams. ACC teams, it may be good to get a draw, get some extra money. I don't know. But anyway, scheduling is important to the kind of season you have.
It really is.
We'll find out.
It really is. Let's take a quick break here on a Friday edition of College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, coming to you from the Future Home Loans Studios. We'll take a break, come back. We'll get Shane Matthews on the phone. It is time for our Friday Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the week. Week 14, we've got 7 games. There's not a full slate. It's championship week, but there's some tough picks. We'll walk down on the other side. It is College Sports Today.
Lawyers nowadays try to attract new clients by putting big numbers in front of them. I can do that too, but the only number that really matters to me is the one I get for you. I can't guarantee you any particular result because all cases are different. However, I can absolutely guarantee you that if I take your case, I will work personally with you to seek the best possible result because that's what really matters to you. At Allen Law Firm, clients and results are what we're all about. Call me anytime.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. It's Friday, it's college football season, it's championship weekend, and that means it is time for the Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week. Coach Steve Spurrier, I'm Terry Norvell. We're trying to round up Shane Matthews. He's traveled a little bit. If we don't get Shane, we'll obviously get his picks before kickoff tonight, Coach. We'll get started, and if I have to, I'll just transpose Shane's picks before kickoff. But we're going to pick 7 games. Obviously, there's not a full schedule. Shane, last week, 7-3. I was 6-4, Coach 4-6. Shane's leading us still, 87, right? I've got 85, and you're at 81, so we're chasing Shane. So we got a bunch of games left, though, with all the bowl games. Coach, let's get started tonight. 8 o'clock on ABC. The Pac-12 plays their championship game tonight. They've been doing this Friday for a couple of years. It is a rematch. Oregon will take on Utah. They play that in Las Vegas. They're in the big new stadium. They played 2 weeks ago on November 20th at Utah, and Utah really undressed Oregon, 38-7. Utah 9-3, Oregon 10-2, and again they played 2 weeks ago, Coach. But they're handing out a trophy for the winner tonight. How do you see the Pac-12 playing out?
You know, I read in the paper that Utah, this is their 4th championship game, and they haven't won one yet.
Oh,
so they need to win this one. Oregon, as we know, got clobbered by Utah a week or so ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Gosh, I don't know who's going to win the game. I'll pick Utah to win their first Pac-12.
I'm going to go with you as well. Utah physically beat Oregon up.
Yeah.
Oregon couldn't run the ball. Utah 9-3, but they've lost to. Here's the teams they've lost to: ranked BYU. BYU's been ranked all year. San Diego State has been ranked all year. They lost to BYU, San Diego State, and Oregon State.
Yeah.
Oregon got upset early in the year by Stanford. That was an ugly loss, and then they lost to Utah. So you and I both like Utah in the game tonight. Should be a pretty good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like it was two Saturdays ago. We'll get Shane's pick. Our next game, Coach, will have a lot of interest for a lot of just casual college football fans, and certainly Gator Nation will really be interested in the next game we're going to pick out of the Sun Belt. App State is at Louisiana. Now, I want to get all this out. The Sun Belt, they don't have a neutral site. They play at the highest ranked team, so this will be played at Louisiana, at Raging Cajun Stadium. This is tomorrow, 3:30 on ESPN. App State 10-2. Louisiana, coached by Billy Napier one more time, is 11-1 coach. These two teams, this is also a rematch. These two teams played mid-season at Louisiana also, and Louisiana blew them out, 41-13. So all that it goes in there. I'll go first on this one, Coach. Louisiana playing at home. They've already beat them bad. I'm taking App State. I'm going to take App State. Word is mid-season they kind of figured some stuff out. I'm going to pick the upset and take Appalachian State on the road at Louisiana for the Sun Belt. How do you see it?
Oh, I'm going to go with Louisiana.
Okay.
Monroe. Louisiana
Lafayette,
Lafayette.
yes, they're Lafayette, yeah.
Yeah, not Monroe. Raging Cajuns, I think they've set their goal to win their conference championship, and that's one big reason Billy Napier's there.
Gotcha.
And they're putting everything into this week, and I believe they're going to handle App State.
Yeah, they beat them bad. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns beat them 41-13 at their place. So they get them twice, and both times at Louisiana. That's just how it plays out. The Atlantic Coast Conference is decided tomorrow. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff, ABC. Pitt, the Panthers, at 10-2. They are taking on Wake Forest. That game's where? In Charlotte, I believe?
Charlotte.
Yeah, that's
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Wake Forest also 10-2. Wake Forest has lost 2 games late in the season. They lost at North Carolina and at Clemson. You know, Coach, before we pick this thing, Pittsburgh is kicking themselves. The Panthers were real close to an undefeated season. They're 10-2. They lost. They got upset early in the year by Western Michigan, Coach. And then the Miami Hurricanes beat them. And Pitt's probably better than Miami. Pitt's close to being undefeated. The quarterback Pickett putting up, actually both quarterbacks have put up big numbers. I'll let you go first here. Pitt, Wake Forest, neutral site, Charlotte, tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pitt.
Okay.
I think they can beat Wake Forest, although Wake's a dang good team
are
also. My 1988 ACC Player of the Year quarterback Anthony Dilwig is representing Duke in one of those legends.
Putting the legends in?
team.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they honored me back when Clemson played Pittsburgh. Clemson clobbered them that night. But anyway, I'll take Pittsburgh to upset Wake Forest.
Pitt, yeah, and that's going to be a good
Or maybe
game.
they're favored. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's going to be a lot of fun. Really, some similar teams. The word is, though, Pitt plays a little better defense. Wake Forest hasn't stopped many people. But
That's true.
I'll tell you that, Hartman, this is going to be a fun game. This is going to be a lot. The ball's going to be in the air a lot. I think the ball's going to be in the end zone a lot. It's going to be fun. I'm with you. I'm going to go Pitt as well in what I think will be an entertaining game. A couple of 10-2 teams out of the playoff run. But, boy, both of these teams. I mean, Coach, real quick, somebody tomorrow night, Pittsburgh or Wake Forest, they're holding up an ACC football championship trophy. That's a big deal for these two programs. They don't win them a lot.
It's a big deal for everybody.
Yes, but I mean,
every team.
these two, if somebody's walking there with an ACC championship in football.
Yeah, championships don't get old, that's for sure. And I don't know if Pittsburgh has won one.
I don't think they have it. Not an ACC football.
Okay,
No.
Wake Forest I know's got one.
Yeah.
Back when Jim Grove was there,
Yeah.
I think it was 07.
Yeah,
something
07.
like
They
that.
went down to the Orange Bowl, didn't they, that year? Yeah, I think they went down to the Orange Bowl. and played.
They went to the Orange Bowl, but they won it at the Gator Bowl.
Is that-
that
yeah,
was where
yeah.
the championship game was.
That's right. That's
So-
right. And then they went up. They had such a big season. Wake Forest went to the Orange Bowl as the ACC champions. That is going to be a fun game. Again, 8 o'clock tomorrow on ABC, the ACC championship game. Tomorrow, getting back to Saturday, 4 o'clock ABC. You've got Houston. The Houston Cougars are at Cincinnati. Again, in that conference, the home team, the highest ranked team hosts the championship. So Cincinnati, the Bearcats, trying to finish off at 13-0 and trying to get in the playoff. They've got to knock off. Houston is 11-1. The Cougars lost their home opener, their season opener, to Texas Tech, and they've run off 11 straight. So Houston at Cincinnati, yes, at Cincinnati, 4 o'clock ABC. Coach, do the Bearcats keep a miracle season going, or does Houston swoop in there with Dana Holgorsen and ruin it for Cincinnati?
Yeah, they're going to dang sure try to run it, but Cincinnati is at home. It's probably going to be in sort of a cold day up there. So I'll go with the Bearcats.
I think I'm with you. This game, I think, is going to be a fourth quarter slugfest. I mean, this is almost a flip of a coin, I think. But Cincinnati is at home because of their conference structure. They play a home game. This is not a neutral site game. These two teams did not meet in the regular season, obviously. So they'll be getting together. And they've kind of, it's funny, Cincinnati and Houston, they've kind of done this all season, kind of stalked each other a little bit. And, you know, Houston's going to have that underdog. We feel slighted because they hadn't got much press all year. It's been Cincy.
That's true.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Coach. It's going to be a good one. So we both like Cincinnati. We'll get Shane's picks before kickoff. We go to the Big 12. This is a high noon kickoff, a mighty important game at high noon tomorrow on ABC. Baylor, 10-2. They will play Oklahoma State.
10-2.
The Cowboys 11-1.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes,
They are.
11-1.
Right.
Oklahoma State, their one loss this year, Coach, to Iowa State. Okay, Iowa State beat Oklahoma State. Baylor has 2 losses. They've already lost to Oklahoma State once. This is a rematch of an earlier season game, and Baylor also lost to TCU. Oklahoma State won the game mid-season, it was, 24-14. So this is a rematch. Oklahoma State really in the thick of the playoff, the college football playoff, if they can win. High noon, Coach. I'll lead off. It's going to be a good game. Dave Aranda mentioned for some jobs. Mike Gundy's done a tremendous job. He's already beaten them once. Baylor, by the way, is number 9 in the college football poll. You know, a lot of people don't realize Baylor's still in the top 10 in the
only
CFP.
have one.
Baylor's got 2.
They had 2 losses.
Yeah,
That's correct.
But one of theirs is to Oklahoma State. I'm going to go Oak State in what I think is going to be a really good game. And then Oak State, if they get the win, they play at noon, and they start saying, we deserve to get one of those Final Four. How do you see this game in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think this might be one of the best conference championship games of all of them, to tell you the truth, because I don't know the last time either one of these teams have won the Big 12 championship.
I don't think
It's been a while.
it's been a while.
Even if they have.
And not in modern playoff time, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, so the team that wins it's going to have a massive celebration. So it'd be a heck of a game. I'll sort of pick Oklahoma State.
Okay, you'll go with Oak State as well.
They do have a chance to be in the Final Four if one of those teams up, above them loses.
I tell you, for the fans of Oklahoma State, good news, you're playing at noon. If you win, you're crowing all day. You get to watch the rest of the games, and you start your delegation pitching college football playoff committee members. However you can do that. If you lose, it's just heartbreaking because you got the rest of the day to see your score flash. But I'm with you. Very important. Baylor, Oklahoma State, they don't win the Big 12 very often. Much like Pitt, Wake Forest, they don't win the ACC. So somebody tomorrow is getting the big trophy, a championship. 2 more games to pick here with Coach Steve Spurrier. This is our Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week, Championship Week style. We go to the Big 10. This game is all by itself tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Fox. The national game, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Michigan, fresh off their huge win, you see. Michigan comes in 11-1, having beaten Ohio State pretty bad. Michigan will take on Iowa. 10-2, Iowa had 2 losses in a row, Purdue and at Wisconsin. But Iowa really, Coach, didn't play anybody in the other side. They didn't. They didn't play Michigan. This is not a rematch. They didn't play Ohio State. But Michigan, their only loss was a 4-point loss at Michigan State. The Wolverines trying to weasel their way into the college football playoff. Big 10, big game. How do you see it?
I tell you, everybody at that committee is pulling for Michigan, and it would be sad if Michigan would lose this game. I'm going to take Michigan. I think they're better than Iowa. If some flukish stuff happens, Iowa could win. But I think Michigan hopefully wins this game.
I'm going to ride with you as well. I'm going to go Michigan. Iowa's had trouble at times scoring points. They play pretty good defense. They turn the ball over to their offense. They've had trouble. And, boy, Michigan was impressive. My goodness, Coach, last weekend they were impressive.
They looked every bit as good as Georgia has
said
looked in their last game.
You said that. So we're both going to go Michigan. We'll get Shane's pick on that game. And that leads us to one final game to pick here on our Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week. Steve Spurrier, Terry Norvell will get Shane's picks in a minute. We go to the SEC, 4 o'clock kickoff, of course, on CBS. The SEC Conference Championship will be decided in the big Mercedes Stadium there in Atlanta. Georgia 12-0, the consensus #1 team in the nation. They have sat there for, Coach, 8-9 weeks. They've sat in that #1 spot comfortably. They will take on Alabama, a miraculous comeback win, frankly, over Auburn in the Iron Bowl last week. 12-0 Georgia, 11-1 Alabama. People may forget Alabama's only loss on the road at Texas A&M, and A&M had to come back on Alabama. Coach, Georgia favored. Georgia already in the playoff. Alabama's basically in the playoff tomorrow. They've got to win to keep their playoff, basically.
Well, they're playing for the SEC
and playing for the SEC. How do you see it?
That's the big thing. Oh, I think Georgia's the better team. And they'll be ready to play unless a lot of flukish stuff happens. Georgia should win it, but if Alabama plays a near perfect game, that they certainly can win also.
Which direction are you going?
I'm going to go with Georgia. What's interesting is almost all these other conferences, Terry, no Clemson this year.
I know.
No Ohio State. How about that?
No Oklahoma.
No Oklahoma up in the Big 12. Out west, no Southern Cal, but they hadn't been there much anyway. So, but we're back to Georgia and Alabama. We got our same 2 guys that are usually there. Sometimes the Gators are there, but it's the top 2 teams sort of annually from the SEC. So I think Georgia
close game, Coach. You think tomorrow?
I think Georgia's got a chance, obviously, to go 15-0.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can do it. But Alabama will come ready to play.
Sure.
And they'll try everything they got to win the game.
Very, very odd position for Nick Saban and Alabama. One of the few times they've been an underdog in, 10 years or so, Coach. I think you brought that up on Monday, that they haven't been an underdog but 2 or 3 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah. And it may be sort of fun for those guys to be underdogs because they're always favored. And first time in, 10 years or whatever. So they may really play lights out tomorrow night. So we just got to wait and see.
Yeah, so there you have it. I'm going to go Georgia as well. I think it is going to be a close game. I think Alabama, I'm with you. I think Alabama, they have and I get all this rah-rah stuff runs out after the first quarter, but Alabama, I think, is going to use that. I think Nick Saban's going to stir that team up a little bit. And guys, we're not even supposed to be here in Big Bad Georgia, and they're going to take our remember now,
we have no chance against these guys.
Forget,
that's what everybody's saying. We have no chance. They're tougher than us. They're smarter than us. They can play football much better than us. They got players much better than all you guys. And now, what are we going to do? It'll be an interesting game to watch. Looking forward to it.
And don't forget, until it's taken from them, Alabama is still holding the SEC championship trophy and the national championship trophy. Right? They're still the champions.
Yeah, but
they're still the champions.
Everything tomorrow night's about winning the SEC.
Absolutely.
That's what every team's in the back of their mind. We got to play our best to win the SEC, and then we'll worry about the next step after that.
Definitely. So those are the 7 games. We've got it in the books. We'll get Shane's picks as before we kick off. And again, of our 7, the first game is tonight. Remember now, the Pac-12, they open up tonight, 8 o'clock ABC, Oregon, Utah. That'll be a nice primer to get right into high noon tomorrow. I mean, that noon game tomorrow is big. Oklahoma State and Baylor at noon. Coach, we're just about out of here. I'll take a break, and I'll come back. We'll let you get going. Anything you want to cover that we haven't hit here before we get you out of here for the weekend? I know you've got a busy week yourself coming up.
Yeah, I'll be gone next week. I got a chance to go out to the College Football Hall of Fame ceremony. Nice. It's in Las Vegas this year instead of New York City. Bobby Stoops is going in, and also our Gator offensive tackle, Lomas Brown. He did Mr. Two-Pits last week at the game. I got a chance to see him up in the press box area, and he looks wonderful.
He does. I was at the press box.
I bet he's lost 70 or 80 pounds from his playing weight.
Yes, yeah.
So he said, I want to live a long time, Coach. Big fat people don't live a long time. So
he did look
great. He looked wonderful, and he'll be out there. And we need more Gators in the Hall of Fame. We need more Gators in pro football.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's going to happen here real soon.
Coach, I know you can't say anything. It's kind of the bylaws, but you also will kind of tie a busy week into the Heisman Trophy, and you can't say who you voted for or who you're going to vote for, and when we understand that. But boy, that Heisman Trophy has been quiet this year, and gosh, the voting ends. I think the voting is like December 6th, and they hand that thing out. I think a week from Saturday.
Correct.
Yeah, a week from Saturday, right?
Week from Saturday.
Yeah, and you take that very serious. You're proud to be on that in that fraternity. And
yeah. As
you're
a
very proud.
former winner, we all get to vote, and it's going to be a quarterback. That's for sure. There's it's a quarterback-driven game now. It seems like college football. So Matt Corral, Ole Miss, and Bryce at Alabama, the two favorites, and then Pickett at Pittsburgh.
Big numbers.
I think
He's got big numbers
in top three. Will Rogers, if Mississippi State had just won a couple more games, I think he'd been right in the talk. But it's going to be a quarterback. I'm going to guess it's going to be an SEC quarterback.
There you go. There you go. And you'll do your part by casting your vote as a former winner. And I know you're very proud to be in that club. And that is a very, very special club to be
in. Usually Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, they all come to the event. We get a good representation of former winners there. It's good to see the guys, once a year and go from there.
I know as a viewer, and I speak for a lot of viewers, every year, obviously, I watch the Heisman ceremony. It's just a special, and they break down all the finalists and give their little video. And then when the winner actually walks up, and Coach, you don't see it because you're where I'm going to say, but when the winner walks up and the winner is at the podium and the camera shot is hitting the winner, and then you see all the former winners are back there, and a college football nut like me, I'm Steve Spurrier. There's George Rogers. There's Mike Rozier. And you go on and on. It's a really neat thing to see all you guys back there because, you can catch about 10 or 15 guys over the shot of the winner right there at the podium. And it is really something. And some of the speeches are real memorable. How was did you work hard on the speech? How did your speech go? And was it hard or did you just?
Well, back in my day, they had the ceremony at the downtown athletic club. There was no television and all that kind of stuff. I had a little speech ready. You thank your teammates, your coaches, and this, that, and the other, and feel blessed and everything. But what? Remember Dick Stratton, the sportscaster in Jacksonville? He said, Steve, why don't you give your Heisman Trophy to the university? He said, they'll make another one, and you can have one. He said, no Heisman guy's ever done that before. I said, that makes sense to me. So I'm up there with the trophy, and I asked President J. Wayne Wrights to come to the podium there. He didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I said, I'd like to present the trophy to you and the University of Florida. More people can see it rather than I keep it in my closet somewhere. But anyway, nowadays we got mine is down here in the restaurant, and University has one also.
Yeah, we are 15 yards away from your Heisman Trophy.
That was Dick Stratton's idea. I wish it was mine, but he's said that.
And you said Wrights as in Wrights Union.
And I was the first to do it. So now they make two for all the Heisman guys.
There you go. Coach, thank you so much. Safe travels. I know you got a lot going on and a lot of important things, but you'll be on the road and on airplanes. Safe travels. Get back here soon. And when we visit again here on College Sports Day with you, Coach Spurrier, we'll have Final Four. We'll have conference champions determined, and boy, it'll be go time. We'll be near bowl games. It'll be bowl season, really, when we get back together. Let's take one final break. We'll come back. I'll wrap some things up, give you some things to think about going into this big weekend of championship football. It is a Friday edition of College Sports Today.
Lawyers nowadays try to attract new clients by putting big numbers in front of them. I can do that too, but the only number that really matters to me is the one I get for you. I can't guarantee you any particular result because all cases are different. However, I can absolutely guarantee you that if I take your case, I will work personally with you to seek the best possible result because that's what really matters to you. At Allen Law Firm, clients and results are what we're all about. Call me anytime.
All the good vibes we had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good
All the
vibes.
good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Special thanks to the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. Always enjoy spending time and talking ball with the head ball coach. Boy, he knows a lot, and he's seen a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know you do. We get great comments about the head ball coach. He'll be gone all next week. You heard him. He's traveling with the College Football Hall of Fame. There's a big ceremony as they induct several new members into the College Hall of Fame. Coach, obviously, part of that Hall of Fame. It will be at the festivities. His buddy Bob Stoops going in, and you heard Lomas Brown, former Gator, going in among other members. Also, that's going to Coach is going to be on the road traveling. That'll lead right into a stop at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. That's always a 3 or 4 day event. So Coach Spurrier, very, very busy coming up this weekend through all of next week. So Coach will be with us after he travels next week and takes care of being Steve Spurrier. I'll tell you, he stays pretty busy. Welcome back here as we wrap up a Friday edition going into the championship games. We are coming to you from the Future Home Loans studios inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We want to thank our title sponsor, of course, among all of our sponsors, but we certainly want to thank the Allen Law Firm, offices in Gainesville and Ocala, serving clients throughout the state of Florida. Give them a call. It's very easy to reach the experts at the Allen Law Firm. Pick up your phone if you've got a question about something that may have happened to you, an injury, hopefully not, but it happens. It's part of life. An accident, that is part of life as well. For you or someone you know, a loved one, feel free to get the expert advice at no charge, a free consultation. Call them up. Pound YES, gets you through to the Allen Law Firm, or visit their wonderful website, ALLEN is the spelling, allenlaw.com, to check them out online. Thanks to all of our sponsors that make the show happen, including Safe Harbor. Our Safe Harbor Seafood picks are in, and we'll see how we do on Monday. A couple quick scenarios I want to get to regarding the college football playoff, give you some thinking points as you go into watching all this good football, championship football coming up. Number one, Alabama. Boy, Alabama controls 2 spots. Alabama is public enemy number 1, particularly for Notre Dame and Cincinnati. The last thing Cincinnati especially needs is Alabama to upset Georgia. As a matter of fact, nobody outside of Alabama wants Georgia to lose to Alabama. If Bama pulls the upset, that puts the squeeze, because think about it. Alabama, with a win tomorrow, controls 2 of the 4 spots. Georgia's in. So the rest of the people trying to get in, the Michigans, the Oklahoma States, the Cincinnatis, the Notre Dames, they all have no issues. Georgia wins, nothing changes in their world. If Georgia wins tomorrow, the only thing that changes, they knock a potential competitor out. They would knock Alabama out, but there would still be 3 spots open. If Alabama wins tomorrow, there are only 2 spots open because Georgia's got one and Alabama would have one. Alabama's public enemy number 1 going into tomorrow because they control the destiny of several. Number 2, the way I see it, if 3 teams win tomorrow, 3 would get in guaranteed, and Georgia's already in. The 3 are Alabama, Michigan, and Oklahoma State. Here's my thought on Oklahoma State. If you look at the current poll right now, the college football playoff poll, Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Bama 3, Cincinnati 4, Oklahoma State is 5. Obviously, we don't know the math that went into that. The committee doesn't really give out numbers or criteria all the way, but obviously, Oklahoma State sitting at number 5 is very close to Cincinnati. Here's what I think would happen if both Oklahoma State and Cincinnati win tomorrow. I don't think there's anything Cincinnati can do. They're going to get jumped even though they would be undefeated. The reason is tomorrow the best Cincinnati can do is beat Houston, which is ranked 19th. That won't be much of a bump for Cincinnati. Oklahoma State, and people don't seem to realize, they are playing the 9th ranked team in the college football playoff. Baylor is ranked 9th. That is another feather and a back-to-back week feather in the cap for Oklahoma State if the Cowboys win tomorrow. I think once the committee would look at all that, the Cincinnati win, if that happens tomorrow, to close out at 13-0, that's wonderful. But then when they pulled Oklahoma State and put them on the board and started doing the pros and cons, the Cowboys would get another top 10 win. That'd be their 3rd. I believe when they beat Oklahoma, Oklahoma was right around 10. I think that would be enough to bump Oklahoma State ahead of Cincinnati. The chaos, though, would really start if Alabama wins tomorrow. If Alabama pulls that upset. Now, Oklahoma State will be in the clubhouse. They play at noon. Cincinnati plays at 4, the same time Alabama's playing and Georgia are playing. So just a couple of things to watch. If you haven't heard the big news of the day, Notre Dame has made it officially official. Marcus Freeman has been elevated from defensive coordinator to the head coach for the Fighting Irish. So in terms of big programs, there's only one opening now in terms of big programs. There's several college football openings, but Oklahoma is still the one that has yet to be filled. And obviously they got a late start with Lincoln Riley taking off about a week ago. But the news is Marcus Freeman has been named the official new head football coach for Notre Dame. That'll wrap it up. Nothing to do now except kick back and watch some good championship college football. Tonight is there are a couple games. So the big one tonight is the Pac-12. Oregon and Utah will decide the Pac-12 championship. And then starting at high noon tomorrow, college football championship games all day and all night. I hope you enjoy it. I know I will. For Evan Miller producing, and of course, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, I'm Terry Norvell. Have a great, safe weekend of college football. Week 14 is upon us. We'll get back together on Monday to review on the next edition of College Sports Today.